speak to a company that provides all the toilet roll for the NHS, and they make hand sanitizer gel. You might not have heard of them because they're a Swedish firm called Essity, hygiene product makers, but they did actually see an 11% drop in second quarter sales because of the lockdown, and people bulk bought so much of the hand gel they didn't need to get it again for quite some time. The group has warned of slower sales, but it's still doing well overall, and we can speak to the president of that company. Volker Zoller is on LBC News. Good afternoon to you. I mean, it surprised me when I first heard about a dip in sales or something like this, considering how much hand sanitizer gel people are using. Tell us how there's a drop in these sales. Good afternoon.
I mean, first of all, we had a very strong Q1, and I think you all remember the panic buying, especially of toilet paper in March, which led to some additional sales. And of course, now consumers are consuming this stock. So this impacted our retail business here, and we have around about 40% of our business in B2B, which is heavily impacted by the lockdowns. For example, hotels, restaurants, catering. So people are spending more time at home.
And which countries are buying the most hand sanitizer and PPE?
I think, generally speaking, in Europe, we see an increasing in demand. I think specifically for hand sanitizer, we are selling between 400-500% of what we are selling usually.
And which countries in particular?
I think in Central Europe, Germany, for example, I think we have quite restrictive situation there. So I think the central of Europe, I think they're consuming the most hand sanitizers right now.
And how did the operations change in terms of increasing capacity to your factories and keeping them open when many places were closed due to lockdown?
Well, Essity is a hygiene and health company. We are manufacturing essential products, and I think we have given this key worker status in the UK, so we could keep our manufacturing sites open. I think we have been also benefiting very much from our presence in China. We could transfer many experience and best practices from China to Europe. And I think during this panic buying of toilet paper in March, we had to very quickly adapt. And the priority for us was always to keep employees safe at work. And we have been extending quite shifts in our factories. For example, in Manchester, we are producing 1 million toilet paper rolls per day. So we have really significantly increased our operations.
And you provide toilet paper for the entire NHS. That must be an awful lot.
That is a lot. This is correct, yes.
How much are we talking?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the volume, but...
OK, that's fine. Tell us about what could happen next. The whole point is nobody knows. It's an unprecedented time, and countries are learning as they go along with coping with the new normal of having life with the coronavirus. Obviously, governments are concerned about the possibility of second waves, especially as we move in towards the autumn. As a company, are you putting plans in place should there be further lockdowns all over the world?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a quite unpredictable business environment at the moment, and we have to be very proactive to manage the situation. So for sure, we have to be prepared for a second wave potentially starting October or in Q4. So we are putting plans in place, also the flexibility to increase our shifts again.
And tell us about how consumer habits are changing when it comes to making sure that we're looking after our world, our environment and sustainability.
I think that's quite interesting. Consumers demand sustainability. They don't compromise with the performance of the product. They are not willing to pay for that. Actually, there is an exception. 75% of the millennials are willing to pay for sustainability. And thirdly, it needs to be credible. So it's not about greenwashing. And we have been doing some research how coronavirus has impacted the behaviors towards sustainability. And more than half of the UK consumers have demonstrated a more sustainable behavior during COVID time. So washing hands more frequently, recycling, reusing, reducing waste. And most of the respondents in the survey said they want to have a new, greener living, and they want to make the right environmental choices. But there's also a lot of confusion concerning labels and claims, and I think this is where our responsibility starts, ours and the ones of the governments, to simplify this information and create more transparency around what's really sustainable.
What do you mean by confusion with the messaging?
Yeah, there are a lot of claims which might mislead consumers to basically that are products which are not really sustainable in our definition.
We are out of time, but thank you for yours. That is Volker Zoller, president of Essity. They make a whole lot of products which we're using an awful lot right now, from hand gel, hand sanitizer. There are other companies that do the same as well, I should add. Thank you for your time. We're on standby to go live to the Commons. Standby to go live to the Commons. Standby to go live to the Commons. Standby to go live to the Commons.